Hey guys, welcome to Y&R's Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire's disturbing revelation and Victoria's eye-opening LA encounter. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Victoria Newman, Amelia Hindley, is about to uncover something shocking in LA. Her flight is bound to conclude with a surprising twist involving Claire Newman, Haley Aaron. So, let's dive into the intensifying drama. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Claire supports Sharon. Victoria arrives in Los Angeles. The drama is intensifying in Los Angeles, as several pivotal Y&R characters have already arrived, including the unfortunate Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, who remains in a coma after a car accident. Claire is set to visit the hospital shortly to offer support to Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, ensuring she fulfills her role in the Newman family. Nevertheless, Victoria will ultimately choose to make an appearance in LA as well. This decision might stem from her desire to be there for both Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and the ailing Noah, but her primary motivation could be her worries regarding Claire. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The longer Claire's in LA, the more worried Victoria will become. The longer Claire remains in LA, the more anxious Victoria will become regarding this so-called journey her daughter is embarking on and the uncertain destination it may lead her to. What is this? Victoria is deeply concerned about Claire potentially becoming too impulsive and hastily diving into a relationship with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, before she is truly prepared for it. While Victoria is aware that Holden possesses a certain charm, her trust in him is quite limited. That's particularly important in light of the numerous doubts that Kyle Abbott, Michael Miller, and Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, have voiced about his character. Naturally, Claire has taken on the role of Little Miss Independent in recent times and might not take kindly to Victoria's attempts to keep a watchful eye over her. Claire may resent her mother's hovering, especially if she interrupts a crucial romantic moment. This is particularly relevant if Victoria is about to disrupt the enjoyment that Claire and Holden are having. One can easily picture a scenario where Victoria stumbles upon Holden and Claire sharing a very intimate moment. It might be a kiss in that patio area that fans have been talking about, or perhaps something even more risque in Claire's suite. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Regardless of the skeptics and Holden's peculiar connection to Sienna Beale Tamara Braun, Claire might choose to disregard any warning signs that arise in her mind. What is this? Holden has shown kindness to Claire and supported her during the difficult time of Cole Howard's J. Eddie Peck passing, which has led to a bond she is unlikely to sever anytime soon. Claire's stubborn streak may push her to escalate things with Holden. Claire's determined nature might lead her to escalate things with Holden, as Kyle attempts once more to reveal his dubious character. This could pave the way for Victoria's startling revelation in LA. If she stumbles upon Claire and Holden during an intimate moment, whether it's a kiss or something even more intense, even if Victoria merely sees Holden and Claire appearing too cozy, it will undoubtedly raise more alarms once her plane touches down. Regardless of how the situation unfolds, The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Victoria's journey to Los Angeles will be filled with unexpected twists. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Claire's disturbing revelation, and Victoria's eye-opening LA encounter. Genoa City has never been a stranger to secrets. But this week's shocking developments could forever change the course of the Newman family. As whispers spread and old wounds resurface, it's Claire Grace who takes center stage. and her disturbing revelation could send shockwaves through Victoria's already fragile world. Meanwhile, Victoria's unexpected trip to Los Angeles becomes more than just a business move. It's an emotional journey that forces her to confront painful truths, hidden motives, and a reunion she never saw coming. Everything is about to unravel in ways that will leave fans speechless. Claire has been struggling for weeks, trying to maintain her composure amid the emotional chaos of her family. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Yes, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Expectations. She's been desperate to prove herself to show she belongs among the Newmans. But behind her calm exterior, Claire has been unraveling. Her nightmares have returned. Her anxiety has spiked, and something inside her keeps whispering that the past isn't as buried as she wants to believe. In the coming episodes, Claire confides in a surprising person, Nikki Newman. In an emotional moment, she reveals a disturbing truth she's kept hidden. While under Jordan's psychological control, she might have done something terrible that was never uncovered. This revelation shakes Nikki to her core. She's worked so hard to heal, to forgive. But the possibility that Jordan's manipulation still has lasting effects makes her fear for Claire's safety and her sanity. Claire's guilt consumes her, and she begins questioning whether she can ever truly be free of Jordan's influence. The confession isn't just about what she remembers, it's about what she doesn't. The haunting gaps in her memory may hold a secret that ties her directly to a crime no one realized she was part of. While Claire spirals in Genoa City, Victoria takes a sudden business trip to Los Angeles to handle a Newman media deal, but the trip becomes anything but professional. Victoria has been trying to regain her power, balancing her position at Newman Enterprises with her role as a mother. But in LA, she's confronted by a blast from her past, someone who challenges her perception of who she's become. Rumor has it, Victoria encounters an old flame or business rival who knows more about Claire's past than she does. The meeting shakes her to the core, and she begins piecing together clues that make her wonder if her daughter's troubled past is far more dangerous than anyone thought. Could Claire have been part of something criminal, orchestrated by Jordan, or another manipulative figure? The deeper Victoria digs, the more unsettling the truth becomes. Meanwhile, Victor Newman begins to sense that something is wrong. His instincts tell him that Victoria isn't sharing everything. And when he learns about Claire's confession, he demands answers. But instead of uniting, the Newman family splinters once again. Nikki blames herself for pushing Claire too hard. Nick warns Victoria not to dig too deep, fearing the answers might destroy them. And Victor, ever the patriarch, sees this as another test of control. He's ready to protect his family at any cost, even if it means covering up the truth. Back in Genoa City, Claire's emotional state takes a dangerous turn. Her dreams grow more vivid, her paranoia intensifies, and she starts seeing shadows that aren't there. She feels like Jordan's voice is still in her head, whispering, taunting her. Viewers will watch Claire's unraveling reach its peak when she discovers something shocking, an old photograph hidden in one of Jordan's belongings that suggests she wasn't the only one Jordan manipulated. The image depicts another young woman who looks eerily familiar, possibly linked to the Newman family, or even to someone currently living in Genoa City under a different name. This discovery sends Claire into a panic. She rushes to call Victoria, but her mother's still in LA, distracted by her own revelations. Alone and terrified, Claire turns to Cole Howard, who offers quiet support. Their growing bond continues to intrigue fans. But this week, their connection takes on new depth. Cole becomes Claire's anchor, urging her to face the truth without fear. However, when Victoria finally returns home, what she brings back from Los Angeles could change everything. In a dramatic, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Showdown at Newman Enterprises. Victoria confronts her father and mother with shocking information. She's learned that someone in Los Angeles has been keeping tabs on Claire since before her return to Genoa City. Even more chilling, the trail seems to lead back to a corporate rival who may have been manipulating Jordan all along. The Newmans realize that Jordan may not have been the mastermind they thought. She could have been a pawn in a larger, darker scheme. Claire's disturbing revelation now takes on new meaning as Victoria pieces together evidence that suggests her daughter was psychologically programmed to suppress memories tied to someone powerful. The storyline's next chapter could expose hidden alliances between old enemies and bring back faces long thought gone. Speculation among fans suggests names like Ian Ward, Daisy Carter, or even Sheila Carter could play into this expanding web of manipulation. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The idea that Claire's trauma might be connected to one of these notorious figures adds a thrilling layer of danger to the plot. Victoria, shaken but determined, vows to uncover every truth, no matter how painful. She leans on Cole for emotional strength, and their renewed connection reignites old feelings. But Victor notices the closeness between them and worries that emotions could cloud Victoria's judgment. The family drama deepens as Nikki tries to protect Claire while Victor plans a counterattack against whoever's behind the scheme. Meanwhile, Claire's mental health continues to spiral. She begins to experience flashbacks, each one revealing fragments of a horrifying memory, a dark room, whispered voices, and an object she can't quite identify, but feels connected to a tragic event. Cole helps her piece the puzzle together, and they uncover a clue hidden in one of Jordan's journals that points toward Los Angeles, the same place Victoria just returned from. Could Victoria's eye-opening encounter have been orchestrated? Was she lured there to keep her distracted while someone in Genoa City made their next move? As the mystery builds, the Newmans are thrust into chaos. Claire's disturbing revelation forces Victoria to rethink everything she thought she knew about her daughter's past. And when Victoria learns that the man she met in LA has ties to Jordan's old network, she realizes she's been drawn into a dangerous game. Back in Genoa City, someone watches the Newmans from the shadows. Anonymous messages begin appearing at Newman Enterprises, warning Victoria to stop digging or face consequences. It's clear the truth about Claire's past isn't just personal. It's a threat that could destroy the entire Newman legacy. The coming weeks promise emotional confrontations and long-awaited answers. Will Victoria's determination to uncover the truth help Claire heal, or will it destroy them both? And when Victor finally learns the full story, will he protect his family, or turn to his ruthless instincts to silence those responsible? The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for a major reckoning. Claire's revelation is just the beginning, and Victoria's trip to LA may have opened a door that can never be closed. As secrets unravel and loyalties are tested, the Newman family will once again face the painful truth that in Genoa City, the past never stays buried for long. You said, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Claire supports Sharon. Victoria arrives in Los Angeles. Help me write big news. Maximum 9,000 words. No numbering, no space. ChatGPT said, The Young and the Restless. Spoilers. Claire supports Sharon. Victoria arrives in Los Angeles. Genoa City's emotional landscape takes another unexpected turn as relationships shift and alliances strengthen in surprising ways. This week, Claire Gray steps out of her own storm of insecurities to become an unlikely source of comfort for Sharon Newman, while Victoria's sudden trip to Los Angeles sparks new mysteries and potential confrontations that could reshape her future and the fate of Newman Enterprises. Both women are on journeys of discovery, one grounded in compassion, the other fueled by ambition. But as the two stories unfold, they intertwine in ways no one sees coming. Sharon has been navigating her own emotional crossroads, balancing her renewed sense of purpose at Crimson Lights with her quiet struggles to rediscover meaning after a series of personal upheavals. She's been strong for everyone, for Mariah, for Faith, even for Nick, but sometimes strength comes at a cost. Lately, her calm demeanor has started to crack, and those closest to her are beginning to notice. Claire, who's been desperate to prove her worth and redefine her identity beyond the shadows of her painful past, steps up in a surprising way. After a tense moment at Crimson Lights, where Sharon seems distracted and withdrawn, Claire reaches out, reminding her that healing isn't linear, and that even those who've been through darkness can still find light again. This quiet yet emotional exchange between Sharon and Claire becomes one of the week's most poignant moments. Claire shares her experiences of therapy, her fears of relapsing into Jordan's manipulative mindset, and her struggle to trust herself again. Sharon, deeply touched, realizes how far Claire has come and how much she reminds her of her younger self. Their bond strengthens, evolving from mentor and ment into something far more profound, a friendship built on empathy and survival. For Sharon, who's often the one doing the comforting, it's an unfamiliar but welcome change. For Claire, supporting Sharon gives her purpose, something she's been yearning for ever since her return to Genoa City. Yet, even as their connection deepens, storm clouds gather elsewhere. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Victoria, Claire's mother, is on a mission of her own. She's just arrived in Los Angeles, ostensibly for a Newman Enterprises deal. But those who know her best can sense there's more to this trip than business. The last few weeks have been heavy for Victoria. Her fractured relationship with Claire, her complicated dynamic with Victor, and her growing doubts about Newman Media's recent direction. When Victor assigned her to finalize a high-stakes merger, she saw an opportunity to escape the suffocating atmosphere of Genoa City and clear her head. But LA has surprises waiting. Upon her arrival, Victoria reconnects with an old associate, someone who knows more about her family's recent troubles than they should. The meeting starts as a casual catch-up, but quickly turns into something more unsettling. The associate hints that Jordan's web of manipulation might extend beyond Genoa City, and that there are still people in LA quietly monitoring the Newmans' every move. The revelation leaves Victoria rattled. For all her strength and intelligence, she's caught off guard by the idea that her family could still be under threat. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The meeting takes a strange turn when the associate mentions Claire by name. How could someone outside of Genoa City know so much about Victoria's daughter and the details of her recovery? Victoria's instincts tell her this is more than coincidence. It's a warning. Back home, Sharon and Claire's bond continues to grow as the two women work together on a new mental health initiative Sharon's been developing. Sharon's been passionate about helping others through trauma, and Claire's first-hand experience brings authenticity to the project. Together, they plan an awareness event to be hosted at Crimson Lights, something that gives both women renewed motivation. Yet beneath the surface, Sharon senses something unspoken in Claire, a lingering guilt, a fear that she might never fully outrun her past. Sharon's gentle encouragement helps Claire push forward, but when a mysterious message arrives on Claire's phone, a number she doesn't recognize, with a cryptic note saying, "You can't hide forever," her calm facade begins to crack again. Sharon notices the shift and urges Claire to talk to Victoria. But Victoria is still in LA, consumed by her own discoveries. In Los Angeles, Victoria begins digging deeper into the warning she received. Her old contact reluctantly admits that someone in the business world, possibly connected to the same investors who once funded Jordan's schemes, has been quietly buying up small companies under false names, all of them somehow linked to Newman Enterprises. It's a tangled web that smells of corporate espionage, but Victoria senses there's more. Something personal. The deeper she digs, the more names she recognizes. People who've crossed her father, her brother, and even her exes. When she discovers that a mysterious LLC is registered under an alias, once used by Ashlyn Lokesh, the shock hits her like a freight train. Could someone be reviving Ashlyn's legacy to get revenge? Or has someone been manipulating events to make it look that way? Determined to protect her family and her daughter, Victoria vows to uncover the truth. She reaches out to Nick for support, but he urges her to come home first, fearing that she's walking into a trap. But Victoria refuses. She's never been one to back down, especially when she senses danger. Meanwhile, Claire grows increasingly worried about her mother's absence. Her bond with Sharon becomes even more important, offering stability when everything else feels uncertain. Sharon encourages Claire to trust her instincts, reminding her that she's stronger than she believes. But when Claire suddenly receives another unsettling message, this time including a photo from her past in Oregon, she realizes someone is watching her. She panics and confides in Sharon, who immediately takes action. Sharon, having dealt with stalkers and dangerous manipulators before, knows exactly how to handle the situation. She calls Nick and warns him that Claire might still be in danger, that Jordan's network could be active again. Nick promises to look into it discreetly, but the timing couldn't be worse. Victoria is unreachable, and Victor is already suspicious of new threats circling his empire. The drama builds as the threads of these storylines begin to intertwine. Victoria's discoveries in Los Angeles point toward a shadow organization that may have had ties to Jordan, while Claire's mysterious messages suggest someone is trying to draw her back into the same web. Sharon, caught in the middle, becomes both protector and investigator, working with Nick and Chance to piece the puzzle. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing together. As the week unfolds, Victoria's eye-opening LA encounter takes a shocking twist. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. She's approached in her hotel lobby by a stranger, a woman who claims to have known Jordan personally. The woman tells Victoria that Jordan wasn't working alone, and that Claire's psychological conditioning was only part of a larger experiment, one meant to manipulate heirs of powerful families. The information leaves Victoria shaken. If true, it means Claire was targeted, not just as a means of revenge, but as part of a wider scheme involving other influential families. The woman warns Victoria to stop digging or risk putting her daughter's life in danger. When Victoria tries to press for details, the woman vanishes, leaving only a business card from a now-defunct Los Angeles consulting firm, a company once tied to Ashlyn Locke's mergers. The realization hits hard. Everything could be connected. Victoria immediately books the next flight back to Genoa City, desperate to protect Claire and confront her father with what she's learned. Back in Genoa City, Claire's emotional stability continues to falter. She has another vivid flashback, this time of a cold room, a recording device, and Jordan's voice, instructing her to remember the story, but not the truth. Terrified, she runs to Sharon, who comforts her and assures her that whatever Jordan did, she can overcome it. Sharon's calm presence grounds Claire, but she knows it's only a matter of time before the past catches up with them. When Victoria finally returns home, her reunion with Claire is powerful. She embraces her daughter, apologizing for leaving, but her face shows the weight of what she's discovered. Sharon joins them, and the three women have an emotional conversation about trust, trauma, and healing. But Victoria keeps her newest discovery to herself for now, unsure whom she can trust. As the episode closes, the camera lingers on Victoria's phone, the screen flashing with a message from an unknown number. "We want you in LA. Now it begins." The tension is electric. The Newmans are on the edge of another war. And this time, it's not just about power. It's about survival. Claire's growing friendship with Sharon might be the key to her recovery. But Victoria's trip to Los Angeles may have just unleashed a new danger neither of them saw coming. As the lines between business, revenge, and family blur, The Young and the Restless prepares viewers for an explosive series of confrontations that will test the strength of every bond. For Claire, her alliance with Sharon could be her saving grace. For Victoria, her LA encounter might expose secrets that no one, not even Victor Newman, is ready to face. And as dark forces circle closer to Genoa City, one thing is certain: the Newman's most perilous chapter has only just begun. The Young and the Restless spoilers. The longer Claire's in LA, the more worried Victoria will become. Trouble is brewing for the Newmans once again, and this time, the storm centers around Claire Grace. The young woman's emotional recovery has been a long and painful journey, but as she begins to take her first real steps toward independence, an unexpected trip to Los Angeles puts her at the center of a mystery that could undo all her progress. What starts as a promising fresh start soon turns into something far more dangerous, leaving Victoria Newman gripped with fear, regret, and the growing realization that her daughter. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Maybe in over her head, Claire's decision to visit Los Angeles is rooted in hope. After months of therapy and support from her family, she finally feels ready to face the world on her own terms. Sharon Newman, who has become both a mentor and a confidant, encourages her to explore new opportunities. With her background in communications and her experience at Newman Media, Claire's future seems bright. When an invitation arrives from a wellness and media collective in Los Angeles, interested in working with her on mental health advocacy, something close to her heart, she sees it as a sign. She believes this trip could be her chance to turn her pain into purpose. Victoria, while supportive, can't shake the unease she feels. The scars of what happened with Jordan run deep. Trusting the world with her daughter feels impossible, especially after everything Claire endured. Still, Victoria wants to give Claire space to grow, so she reluctantly agrees, urging her daughter to stay in constant contact. At first, everything in LA seems to go smoothly. Claire meets inspiring people, including a few who claim to have connections to Jordan's former associates, not in a threatening way, but in the sense of understanding how manipulation and trauma work. These encounters help Claire reflect on her past, but they also stir up disturbing memories she thought she'd left behind. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The sun-soaked city that was supposed to represent healing soon starts to feel heavy with secrets. Victoria tries to stay calm, checking in with Claire through daily calls and video chats. But when a few messages go unanswered, her worry intensifies. She tells herself it's just bad cell service or a busy schedule, but deep down, her instincts tell her something's off. Meanwhile, in Genoa City, Nikki and Victor notice Victoria's restlessness. Victor, ever the pragmatist, dismisses her fears as overprotectiveness, but Nikki shares her concern. She reminds Victor that Claire is still fragile and that Los Angeles has a way of swallowing people whole, especially those searching for themselves. Nikki's words plant a seed of doubt in Victor's mind, and he quietly orders one of his security contacts in LA to keep an eye on Claire without telling Victoria. Claire, unaware of the silent protection surrounding her, continues her work at the collective. Yet, strange things start happening. One day, she finds a note slipped under her door with the words, "You're not done yet." Another day, she sees a man watching her from across the street, familiar, but impossible to place. Her therapist had warned her that her mind might play tricks on her when triggered. But the fear feels real. Instead of panicking, Claire tries to rationalize everything. She tells herself that she's strong now, that she won't let fear win. But as the days pass, the feeling of being watched grows impossible to ignore. The breaking point comes when she receives a package with no return address. Inside is a small music box, identical to one Jordan once used during their sessions. When the tune plays, Claire's hands shake, her breathing quickens, and fragments of memory rush back. The melody triggers flashes of Jordan's voice, her commands, and an image of a dark room that Claire doesn't fully remember. Terrified, she calls Victoria, but the line goes dead mid-conversation. That's when Victoria's panic explodes. In Genoa City, she storms into Victor's office, demanding he use his resources to find her daughter. When she learns he's already had someone tailing Claire, she's furious, but secretly relieved. However, the latest report Victor's contact gives her doesn't ease her fears. It only fuels them. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The investigator claims Claire was last seen leaving her apartment late at night, heading toward the coast, but she never returned. Victoria immediately books a flight to Los Angeles, vowing not to leave without her daughter. On the flight, Victoria replays every moment of the past few weeks, questioning every decision she's made. Did she push Claire too hard to move on? Should she have gone with her? The guilt consumes her. When she lands, she goes straight to the hotel Claire had been staying at, but the room is empty. Claire's belongings are there, including her phone charger and journal, but not her phone. There's no sign of struggle, yet something about the room feels wrong. A faint scent of perfume lingers. One Victoria recognizes instantly: Jordan's. The discovery sends chills down her spine. She calls Sharon for emotional support, knowing that Sharon might understand Claire's mindset better than anyone. Sharon, though worried, tries to calm her. She reminds Victoria that Claire has come a long way and that she's resourceful enough to protect herself. Sharon also tells Victoria that Claire recently mentioned reconnecting with someone from her past, someone who claimed to be a counselor who worked with her during Jordan's rehabilitation program. That detail sends alarm bells ringing in Victoria's mind. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Victoria, Claire isn't missing, she's hiding. After receiving the music box, she fled her apartment and took refuge at a small coastal inn. She doesn't trust anyone, fearing that Jordan's influence is somehow alive through others. She begins keeping a record of every strange occurrence, convinced that someone wants to manipulate her again. But there's a glimmer of hope. She meets a local named Evan, a kind and thoughtful young man who recognizes her from her advocacy work. He offers her a safe space to talk, and though hesitant, Claire opens up. Evan becomes a calming presence, but there's something about him she can't quite read. Is he truly kind, or is he part of the same network that once controlled her? Back in LA, Victoria gets a lead from Victor's investigator. A camera caught Claire near the beach, talking to an unknown man. Victoria rushes to the location, but by the time she arrives, there's no trace of either of them. Determined, she begins retracing her daughter's steps, visiting the Wellness Collective, and demanding answers. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The staff claimed Claire left on good terms, but one of them, a nervous assistant, slips and mentions that someone else had been asking questions about Claire days before she disappeared, a woman who called herself Diane. Victoria immediately suspects deception. Could someone be impersonating Diane Jenkins to get close to Claire? Or is this just another layer in a twisted plot to destabilize the Newmans? Meanwhile, Claire, desperate for clarity, decides to confront her fears head-on. She opens the music box again, forcing herself to listen to the haunting melody. This time, instead of panicking, she focuses on the flashes of memory it evokes. And suddenly, she remembers something crucial. In one of her sessions with Jordan, there was another person in the room observing a man. The same man she saw, watching her on the street in LA. Her instincts tell her she stumbled into something far bigger than she realized. She leaves a message for Sharon, her voice trembling. If anything happens to me, tell my mom to look into the collective. It's not what it seems. Sharon immediately calls Victoria, warning her that Claire may be in danger and that the collective could be connected to Jordan's former. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Backers, Victoria's worst fears are confirmed. Claire isn't just lost. She's being hunted. The story builds toward a tense confrontation. Victoria, using Victor's contacts, tracks Claire's location to the coastal inn. When she finally finds her daughter, the reunion is emotional and raw. Claire breaks down, confessing that she thought she could handle the past, but the shadows of Jordan's manipulation still haunt her. Victoria holds her close, promising never to let her face it alone again. But as they leave, they notice something chilling. A black car parked nearby, engine running, headlights flickering. Someone is watching them. The ending teases an even bigger mystery ahead. Back in Genoa City, Victor receives a call from his LA investigator with a shocking update. The man seen following Claire once worked for a company tied to Ashlyn Locke's old ventures. The implication is clear. The web of deceit surrounding the Newmans didn't die with Jordan. It's expanding. As Victoria and Claire prepare to return home, neither realize the true danger they're bringing back with them. The longer Claire stays in LA, the more her mother's instincts are proven right. Something sinister is lurking beneath the city's glamorous surface. And as the pieces fall into place, it becomes clear that Claire's story is far from over. Her journey toward healing may lead her straight into the darkest chapter of her life yet. For Victoria, watching her daughter teeter between strength and vulnerability is torture. The more she learns about what's been happening, the more she understands that Jordan was only the beginning. Now, with enemies moving in the shadows and secrets buried in both LA and Genoa City, the Newmans are once again on the brink of chaos. One thing is certain, Victoria will do whatever it takes to protect her daughter, even if it means going to war. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire may resent her mother's hovering, especially if she interrupts a crucial romantic moment. Genoa City is about to experience another wave of emotional turmoil, this time centered around the fragile yet evolving bond between Claire Grace and her mother, Victoria Newman. While Victoria's instincts to protect her daughter are born from love and fear, her constant hovering may end up pushing Claire away at the very moment she's learning to embrace life again. The tension between mother and daughter builds to a heartbreaking climax when Victoria's interference threatens to destroy Claire's first real chance at love, a budding romance that could redefine her path to healing. Claire has come a long way since her traumatic re-entry into Genoa City. From the shadows of Jordan's manipulation to her growing independence, she's proven that she's more than a survivor. She's a woman determined to reclaim her life. With Sharon's gentle guidance and Cole's quiet support, she started to find her footing, even daring to smile again. But after months of emotional rehabilitation and reflection, Claire begins craving something more. Connection, affection, and normally. That's where the story takes a tender, yet volatile turn. Claire's relationship with a kind-hearted man named Evan, whom she met during her stay in Los Angeles, begins to blossom. Evans, a creative soul, a photographer with a passion for helping trauma survivors tell their stories through art. His calm demeanor and empathy immediately draw Claire in. Unlike anyone she's met before, he doesn't treat her like she's broken. He sees, please subscribe and like the video before continuing her, as strong, intelligent, and worthy of happiness. Their connection deepens quickly. Long walks on the LA beach, deep conversations under the California sunset, and moments of laughter that remind Claire what it feels like to live without fear, all build into something undeniably romantic. For the first time in years, she feels free. However, Victoria's being watched all over again. The sense of independence she fought so hard to gain starts slipping through her fingers. She loves her mother deeply, but Victoria's overbearing concern makes her feel suffocated. When Claire finally confronts her over the phone, the tension is palpable. "Mom, I need space. You can't control everything I do," she says, her voice trembling between frustration and sadness. But Victoria, emotionally raw and still haunted by Jordan's manipulation, can't let go. "I'm not controlling you, Claire. I'm protecting you. I can't risk losing you again," she insists. The argument ends in silence, with both women wounded, one from fear, the other from feeling unheard. Despite the emotional distance growing between them, Claire tries to focus on her newfound happiness with Evan. He plans a romantic evening for her, a dinner on a rooftop overlooking the LA skyline, candles flickering in the breeze, soft music playing in the background. It's meant to be a symbol of new beginnings, a moment where she can finally let go of the past. But just as the night reaches its most intimate moment, Claire's phone starts buzzing repeatedly. It's Victoria. At first, Claire ignores it, trying to stay present, but the calls keep coming. Evan notices her discomfort and gently encourages her to answer, thinking it might be important. Reluctantly, Claire picks up, her voice heavy with annoyance. "Mom, please." "I'm fine," she says. But Victoria's tone is panicked. She's convinced that Claire is in danger after receiving new information from one of Victor's investigators, suggesting that someone connected to Jordan may still be lurking in Los Angeles. Victoria demands to know where Claire is and insists she come home immediately. Claire, mortified that her mother is calling during such a personal moment, steps away to argue privately. The tension between them explodes. "Do you realize what you're doing?" Claire snaps. "You're making me feel like I can't live my own life. I'm trying to move forward to feel normal, and you keep dragging me back into fear." Victoria's voice cracks with desperation. "You don't understand what's at stake. You're not safe there." But Claire refuses to listen. "You don't trust me. You never will. I'm not your fragile little girl anymore, and you need to stop treating me like I am." She ends the call, tears in her eyes, torn between love and anger. When she returns to the table, the mood has shifted. Evan, understanding but visibly concerned, suggests maybe they should cut the evening short. Claire forces a smile, but inside she's breaking. What was supposed to be a beautiful night becomes another reminder that her past still controls her through her mother's fear. The following day, Victoria arrives unannounced in Los Angeles. She claims it's a business trip, but her true motive is clear. She wants to see Claire and make sure she's safe. When she please subscribe and like the video before continuing, shows up at the cafe where Claire and Evan are having breakfast. The tension is unbearable. Claire is shocked and furious. Evan stands to greet Victoria politely, but the discomfort is obvious. Victoria, ever the composed executive, masks her anxiety with charm, though her eyes betray her unease as she studies Evan carefully. "You must be Evan," she says with a polite smile. "I've heard a little about you." The subtext is clear. She's there to evaluate him. Claire can feel her temper rising, embarrassed and frustrated that her mother would invade her privacy so brazenly. Evan excuses himself to give them space, leaving mother and daughter to hash it out. "Why are you here, Mom? Did you seriously fly across the country? Because you couldn't let me have one night to myself." Claire's voice trembles with disbelief. "You think I can just relax while you're hundreds of miles away with some stranger?" Victoria shoots back, her voice sharp but tinged with fear. "You have no idea how dangerous this world can be." "I do know," Claire counters fiercely, "because I lived it and I survived it. You can't keep protecting me from everything. It's only making things worse." The confrontation ends with Claire walking away in tears, needing distance, not just from her mother, but from the past that keeps pulling her back. Evan finds her later by the beach, staring at the ocean, trying to calm herself. He listens quietly as she vents, and in that moment, something shifts between them. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Claire realizes that while her mother's love feels like a cage, Evan's love feels like freedom, gentle, patient, and safe. They share a quiet moment, hands intertwined, as the waves crash softly in the distance. But unbeknownst to them, Victoria watches from afar, torn between pride and heartbreak. She wants to believe her daughter is strong enough to make her own choices. Yet, every instinct screams that danger still lingers. And perhaps Victoria isn't entirely wrong. Later that night, Evan receives an anonymous message warning him to stay away from Claire. The sender's identity is unknown, but the message is clear. You don't know who she really is. The cryptic threat sets the stage for more chaos. As the drama unfolds, viewers are left wondering, is someone trying to manipulate Victoria's fears to keep her and Claire divided? Could this mysterious interference be connected to Jordan's lingering network? Or is there someone new pulling the strings? For now, the damage between mother and daughter is done. Claire's resentment grows as she feels her mother's constant watchfulness choking her independence. Victoria, racked with guilt but unable to let go, finds herself at a painful crossroads. Trust her daughter's judgment or risk losing her completely. The emotional stakes are high as both women navigate love, fear, and freedom. Claire's heart begins to open to the possibility of romance, but Victoria's hovering threatens to destroy it before it fully blooms. In Genoa City, Victor warns Victoria to tread carefully. If you push her too hard, you'll lose her, he says gravely. Nikki, ever the voice of empathy, reminds her that love means letting go, even when it terrifies you. The stage is set for a powerful emotional arc that will test the Newman family's bonds like never before. The question isn't whether Victoria loves her daughter, it's whether she can love her enough to let her live. And as for Claire, her struggle between family loyalty and personal freedom may be the defining moment of her journey. The longer Victoria hovers, the more Claire feels suffocated. And if she interrupts one more crucial romantic moment, she please subscribe and like the video before continuing, may find herself facing not just her daughter's resentment, but a permanent rift that even love might not be able to heal. The Young and the Restless is heating up in ways fans never saw coming, and the spotlight is firmly on Claire Grace as she navigates a complicated new chapter in Los Angeles. What began as a fresh start is quickly spiraling into emotional turmoil as Holden Novak's dark charm and Victoria Newman's overbearing concern push Claire to her breaking point. It's a storyline full of passion, tension, and danger, and viewers can feel the storm brewing with each episode. Claire's stubborn streak, once a source of strength, may now be the very thing that leads her down a path of regret. For months, fans have watched Claire's journey unfold with both hope and trepidation. After escaping the shadow of her past and finally earning a chance at normalcy, Claire seemed ready to take on the world. Her move to Los Angeles marked more than just a physical relocation. It was a declaration of independence, a statement that she could build her own life free from the mistakes of her family. But Holden Novak's arrival has turned her newfound peace into dangerous temptation. Holden is charming, confident, and mysterious, the kind of man who knows exactly how to get under someone's skin. And for Claire, who's still finding her footing emotionally, that's both thrilling and terrifying. Holden makes her feel seen and desired in a way she's never experienced before. But at the same time, he represents everything her mother warned her about. Victoria Newman's instincts as a protective mother have been on overdrive ever since Claire left Genoa City. She's haunted by the years of manipulation Jordan inflicted on her daughter and refuses to let history repeat itself. But her attempts to reach Claire to check in only fuel the younger woman's resentment. Claire is tired of being treated like a fragile child. She's determined to prove she's capable of handling her own life. However, that stubborn determination could easily backfire. Holden seems to know exactly how to exploit Claire's need for independence. He suddenly encourages her to reject her mother's advice, framing Victoria's concern as control. It's a manipulative move, And while Holden may appear attentive and understanding, there's something unsettling about how quickly he's inserting himself into every aspect of Claire's life. He's the type of man who thrives on emotional dependency, and Claire's vulnerability makes her a prime target. Meanwhile, Victoria's growing anxiety back in Genoa City is impossible to ignore. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. She's tried to give Claire space, but when her daughter's tone turns cold and defensive during their phone calls, Victoria can't help but sense that something isn't right. Against her better judgment, she decides to fly to Los Angeles herself, desperate to reconnect before things spiral completely out of control. But that move could have consequences she doesn't anticipate. When Victoria shows up unannounced, she may walk in on something that changes everything. A private moment between Claire and Holden that could shatter the fragile trust between mother and daughter. Claire's humiliation and anger will likely explode, pushing her further into Holden's arms, out of defiance. It's not hard to imagine Holden using Victoria's intrusion as leverage, whispering that her mother will never truly trust her, that she'll always see her as broken. It's Manipulation 101. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. And Claire may not recognize it until it's too late. As the situation escalates, the question becomes, how far will Claire go to prove she's in control of her own life? Will she fall deeper under Holden's spell just to spite her mother? Or will she finally see that Victoria's concern comes from love, not control? The emotional stakes are high, and the potential fallout could be devastating. In true Newman family fashion, this drama isn't just about love and rebellion. It's about legacy, pride, and the scars that never quite heal. Victoria knows better than most how dangerous emotional entanglements can be. She's lived through toxic romances and manipulative lovers. Watching her daughter walk down that same path is unbearable. Yet the more she tries to help, the more resistance she faces. Claire's stubborn streak runs deep, inherited straight from her mother, and that similarity could be their undoing. Fans are already buzzing online about where this storyline might lead. Some speculate that Holden's intentions are far darker than he's letting on, that he could be connected to Jordan's old network, or even part of a revenge plot aimed at the Newmans. Others think Holden may genuinely care for Claire, but is deeply flawed, a man whose jealousy and possessiveness will eventually surface. Either way, it's clear that his relationship with Claire is a ticking time bomb. There's also the question of how Sharon Rosales factors into all of this. Sharon has been a quiet pillar of support for Claire since her move, offering wisdom without judgment. If anyone can see through Holden's charm, it's Sharon, and Victoria might turn to her for help once things start unraveling. It wouldn't be surprising if Sharon ends up being the one who helps Victoria navigate this emotional minefield, bridging the gap between mother and daughter. As The Young and the Restless continues to peel back the layers of this complex storyline, one thing is certain: Claire Grace is standing at a dangerous crossroads. Her stubborn determination to be seen as strong and independent may lead her straight into a situation she can't control. And with Holden Novak's intentions still unclear, every decision she makes could pull her deeper into a web of deceit and emotional danger. The tension between Victoria and Claire is more than just a family squabble. It's a battle for trust, identity, and freedom. The longer Victoria hovers, the more defiant Claire will become, and the more Holden will exploit that wedge for his own gain. Viewers should brace themselves for explosive confrontations, emotional breakdowns, and possibly a shocking betrayal that will leave Genoa City reeling. In the end, Claire may have to learn the hard way that independence doesn't mean isolation, and that love, even when it feels suffocating, can be the very thing that saves her. Until then, every moment in Los Angeles feels like a countdown, one that could end in heartbreak, redemption, or something far more dangerous. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing.